Hey, Mike, do you want to go ahead and just get rolling then?
Yeah, for sure. Looks like we have a good quorum. So if you wanna go ahead and get started, I'll go ahead and kick it over to you.
Yep, thanks. All right, there are 5 policies on the agenda. They are all specific to the 600s, which are business and finance policies. And the main reason for putting these on is to drag these out of the 80s and 90s and update them. And so Belinda worked on these, and she'll just give a quick overview. And then if there are any questions, we can address those. Go ahead, Belinda.
Sure. The first policy is policy 610, purchases subject to bid. As you can see, the previous policy was very limited. This is just giving a little bit more detail, as well as also offering those current bid thresholds. And that's listed there in the competitive bid section, where it'll list where 3 quotes are needed, as well as the amount that's listed for when an official bid piece is done. The district does not currently do electronic auction bidding, but I know it's always nice to have it available in the policy section in the event that we do have that opportunity available to us. And it just goes on to further define the delegation, the work performed, public notices. It's just providing an update since 2014, I think is the date on this one.
Oh, that was a recent one.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In comparison to the next couple, right?
Yeah. I don't know if folks had an opportunity to look at the policy. If there's any questions, I can continue on and then come back with questions later. But it's really just taking the policy, and this one particularly, and just updating the bids and the quotation thresholds and giving a little bit more guidelines approach to it.
Belinda, not a question, but just a comment. I would agree with you. I do think the electronic bidding and anything that you can do virtually these days is probably a good idea to have and to give you flexibility. And I found it in my experiences to be very beneficial.
Yeah, looking forward to actually the opportunity when it does present itself. Right now, we've been using some auctions local to dispose of information, but at least for purchasing items, to possibly go through that method as well would be nice. If no other further questions on that one, policy 611, purchases budgeted. Just a few updates to this one. Not very much, noted in red. The sections were all added. And this is again an update since 2014. It was the last time that it was updated. Policy 612, purchases not budgeted. This is taking an older policy. I think it was last adopted in 1981 in the old board policy format and actually putting it underneath the new board docs format. And really, I don't think there was anything else other than just moving it over into the new format on this one.
Not a question again, but just a comment. And Michael, as you may or may not know, back when I was the chair, I know one of our major focuses was to really update some of these older policies, and some were pretty darn old. And I think we're in a much better position now than we were in a short time ago. So I commend you all for accomplishing that.
In the policy 613, the cooperative purchasing, very similar to the last one. It was an older board format policy, and we're just taking it, putting it underneath the new format with the legal citations down listed below and linked into the document. The only other policy, which is the 5th one, and I hate to be moving along quickly. I understand I'm the last one before dinner time, so I don't want to keep everybody. But the last one is the capitalization of assets, policy 620. This one changed slightly a little bit. Other district policies typically name this as GASB 34. The biggest difference with this one is setting the threshold. Previously, the older policy, which was adopted in 91 in the older format, had the policy threshold at I believe, $500, $300 and $500 for capitalization thresholds. And underneath our current or our most recent asset evaluation, we have a lot of assets. When you think about throughout the district, the assets with technology, underneath if we were to capture everything at $500 and up, we would be recording every last computer individually throughout the district on up. Whereas most times now, if you can capture everything with a $5,000 range and be quoted too in terms of coverage for items lost, it's a much better situation because we can lot things a little easier when it's 5,000 and up rather than individual. So this, again, this policy is really only updating it as well as changing that threshold and to make sure that we're kind of, the policy is matching what we're currently doing and likewise.
Thanks, Belinda. I mean, this is, these policies fall kind of within your world. So I certainly trust, your department, you taking a look at these and saying, these changes are, positive changes for the district. So I don't have any questions.
Sure. Thank you. The only thing I will say, the policy 610, purchases subject to bid, technically that should come up from like an annual review process, only because the bidding thresholds change annually in January every year. So once we get onto a schedule, the amounts that are listed on there are for 2021, but once they are developed and issued by the department, normally in November, December timeframe, we can put it on for policy in a January timeframe just to get those numbers updated. Then there's only really one place to look for when those bid thresholds are available for everyone. Just to share.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
So if there are no questions for Belinda, we would put these, Jamie, we put these on for a first read this coming Tuesday.
Yes.
So these would all be a first read this coming Tuesday.
That sounds good. I do have a question, Belinda, about policy 620, and it's just
Yeah.
for my own clarification. So you mentioned about how the item or the number changed from a $500 threshold up to a 5,000, and that's like you mentioned with technology and device prices and everything else, that you guys would be capturing a ton of stuff. You guys still do have a way to capture like all the Chromebooks and all the small electronics that would fall in that under $5,000 category, that you could make sure that they're covered for insurance and everything like that? I'm sure you do. I just wanted to clarify.
Yes, we do. We kind of do it in a lot. So whenever we're making the purchase, typically when we're making a lot purchase, I say there were probably in excess of 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. So we'll record like a number and the amounts and the purchase and who the vendor is and so forth. And we'll record it in the inventory system in that fashion, rather than listing every individual item that we have posted. It just makes it much easier tracking, because typically when things are also deemed as obsolete, they're deemed obsolete in a group section rather than individually. So hopefully that helps, Mike. I don't.
No, that does. That makes perfect sense. Like if you guys are refreshing a block of 250 Chromebooks, it would just be in that group and not individually. That's perfect. Thank you.
Correct. Sure. Thank you.
Any other questions for Belinda? All right, Mike, do you have anything else? If not, it's a quick meeting for us.
No, I don't have anything else.
All right. Hey, thanks everybody for jumping on. This will enable us to get these policies on the board agenda on Tuesday. We appreciate everybody jumping on.
Dr. Penn, we're pretty good with the district calendar. We're good to go there.
Yeah, it's a first read. Yeah, we're good.
Right. Good, good.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Seeing
Thank
you.
you.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Yeah. Hi, Amanda. She's on the phone again. Okay. Yeah, the one that wants to go to Lincoln. And Bill left, didn't he? Okay, you want me to talk to her? Nope, I don't at all. Uh-huh. That was easy.
Yeah.
Hello, may I help you?